Smriti says, Janmanat jayate shudraha samskarad dvija uchyate veda patanat bhavet vipraha brahma janati iti brahmanaha. Janmanat jayate shudraha. We are all born shudras only. Shudras means very animalistic kind of a nature. Kana, pina, sona, marna nature. They're very interested in only physical pleasures, physical enjoyments, not interested in intellectual province, not interested in making money or wealth, not interested in position, power, administration, and responsibilities. Just khao piyo, mauj karo. That is Shudra Buddhi. We are all born like that. Then what happens as we progress? We attain some samskaras. Samskara means purification. Samskarana means some kind of purification or refinement. So we attain some refinement. Otherwise, when we are born, we are only interested in food, sleep. Are we interested in becoming IAS officers or doctors, engineers? No. A baby which is born is only interested in mother's milk. After it wants to sleep. When it wakes up, it wants to drink again milk and then sleep again. Shudra Buddhi, that is. Then as we grow, we develop some samskaras. We learn from people around us. And then slowly we are taught, no, this is not all your life. You have to study. You have to learn things. You have to be useful to the society. You have to earn your own living and so on and so forth. So on and so forth. That is samskara. So samskara dvija uchyate, it says. When you have this samskara, you are born again. Dvija, twice born. In our Shodasha samskaras, 16 samskaras are there for everyone. In that there is a time when you go for education. So first few years you are with parents, you do whatever you require, and there also a lot of samskaras happen, like Namakarna is there and things like that. But eventually you go to samskara where you have to get admission in the school. Once you get that admission in the school and you start gaining knowledge, then you are twice born. It said you are born again. First time you are born as almost an animal. Next time you are born as humans. Because humans have the ability to acquire knowledge, understand, discriminate, analyze. So that ability starts growing in you. So that is the Dvija, born again. And once you keep doing that, you are called Dvija, twice born. Then comes the third level. What kind of education? Just Apara Vidya for feeding your body and looking after your family is not true samskara. Veda Patanat Bhavet Vipraha. You become Vipra. Vipraha means Vidwan, true man of wisdom. When you study in schools, all the subject knowledge that you need for your survival and living, you are acquiring knowledge, not wisdom. You are acquiring facts, information, skills, and capabilities to survive in the society. But when you study further, the deeper understanding of Vedas, Upanishads, and the higher goal of life, which is moksha, then you become a Vipraha. You become a man of wisdom. But that is not these are all called Vipras only. They are not Brahmanas still. Brahma janati iti Brahmana. If you want to call yourself a Brahmana, it's not because you are born in a Brahmana family, or it's not because your surname has whatever Brahmana surname in it. It is not even because you have read Vedas and gone through all the samskaras that are prescribed for a Brahmana. But only when you know Brahman, Brahma janati iti Brahmana, when you know the real truth of yourself, that you are divine and nothing else other than divine, that's when you become truly a Brahmana. Just because you know some Veda mantras, you are Vipraha. We'll appreciate you. You are a Purohita, maybe an Acharya at best, because you can learn and teach that. Below that, you are only Dvija. Dvija, everybody is Dvija because we all have gone through some education. And if you have not even gone through some education, you are as good as animal. Shudra Buddhi is what is said. The other day I was telling about Ahara Nidra Bhayamaitunam cha Samanya Metat Pashubir Naranam. Khana, Pina, Sona, Marna, this is all common between animals and humans. You are not humans just because you are doing all this. Ahara, food, Nidra, sleep, Bhaya, fear of all the things, and Maituna, reproduction. These are all common between us and animals. With that, we are only Shudras. After that, we learn something, we become Dvija, we become humans. Further, we become wise humans when we study the scriptures and the truths in that. But greater than that is to know the self, which is true Brahmana. In our society, we never had classification based on this. Very, very ancient times I'm talking about, not in the last 1 millennium or something, much before that. They only categorize people according to their qualities, their abilities, their aptitudes. That is why Shri Krishna says, Guna Karma Vibhagashaha Chaturvarna Maya Srishtam. I only have created this type of people. There are types, categories. These are not hierarchies. There are only categories. There are different classifications, that's all. And what are the classifications? Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Brahmanas are those who are supposed to be knowing Brahman. Why? Because they've led such a pure and dedicated life to God that that natural outcome of it should be the knowledge of Brahman. That's why they're called Brahmana. But they are also the people who are men of wisdom. They have all the knowledge of the scriptures and all other knowledge. They are the intellectual class. So their job in the world is to disseminate this knowledge to others. That's all. Not for a price. They are not supposed to engage with money at all. So, what is the intellectual class's role? To disseminate knowledge to correct people, to guide them on the righteous path. That was the category that they were in. And there are many amongst you who are only interested in intelligence, intellectual, understanding. You're not interested in money making, not interested in authority and power and things like that. So, those are actually by nature tending towards Brahmanas only. But they are not supposed to be commercial people nor authoritative. The second is, of course, he said Kshatriyas. And Shatra Buddhi is that of protection, ruling, administration. They take responsibilities for the welfare of all. They are like that. Their nature is like that. In our class also, you will see some students will be there, self-appointed leaders of the class. Anything happens, they have to decide who is right, who is wrong. And if you don't listen to them, they will be very, very difficult. That is Shatra Buddhi, that is Kshatriya Buddhi. They want to have control and authority over everything. You will find some of the people, whether they have knowledge or not, doesn't matter. Whether they have wealth or not, doesn't matter. Control they want. Power mongers. So they are basically Kshatriya Buddhi. And you will find plenty of them around in the world. Many of the politicians are like that. They're not interested in money and they're not interested in big other things, knowledge and all. But they want power. They want to control things. That is Kshatriya Buddhi. But they are also in the good way, protect the society, protect from enemies, protect from wrongdoers, from criminals, because they feel responsible for the welfare of all. Then there is a category or class which is called Vaishyas. They are commercial, business minded people. They are not interested in power and authority. They are not interested in too much of knowledge. Knowledge that is enough to make money is good enough for them. Beyond that, they are not interested. And if they want to learn anything, they will learn only if it's going to lead to some profits at the end. Otherwise, they will not waste their time on anything. So they are Vaishya Buddhi. And there are many you will find in and around yourself also. They might have been born Brahmins, but all the time counting money and calculating. That is Vaishya Buddhi, that is the nature. And then of course there are Shudra Buddhi who are happy just eating and sleeping. Don't disturb me, don't ask me to do any work. I don't want anything from anybody, but please don't ask me to do anything. But give me my food or give me my rest. That is the fourth category of lazy, generally tamasic people. So you see, if you put all these four together, that is how mostly all the people around the world can be classified. Some may be a little mix of both, some may be a little more this and less that. But largely, Sri Krishna's classification is correct classification. You go around the world, you will see only four kinds of people. I travel around the world, I meet all kinds of people. I see scientists with great idea but no business sense at all. I see great businessmen, no respect for knowledge and no respect for authority. Very egoistic because they have a lot of money and they always calculate. Every time, what will I get if I give? That's all is there in mind. Then there are those who are like, administrators, powers, people who are in the seat of power, extremely authoritative. And then there are those who don't want any of these things. They are very happy-go-lucky. They don't want any efforts in life. If they get their 2 meals a day, they're happy with it. We find all four types in all countries across humanity. So it is very well classified. So why did Krishna classify? Because he knew this is their nature. You ask intellectuals to do business, they will be bad at it. You ask business people to study scriptures, they will be bad at it. You ask authoritative political people to be selfless and give away everything like intellectuals, they won't agree to that. So they all have their categories, and that is why societies were working fine, because they all knew what is my aptitude, and accordingly they fitted themselves in, and everybody was working efficiently. And if you go to Purusha Suksham, Bhagavan says, or the Purusha Suktam says, that's from Rigveda. It's like the most ancient, this description of this classification. Brahmanasya mukham asid, bahu rajanya kritaha, uru tadad yadvaishyaha, padbyam shudra jayata. He says, it's like 4 limbs of the same body. Face is like Brahmins, that is basically intelligence. Bahu means the arms are like the Kshatriyas because they fight and they protect the warrior class. The stomach or the middle region is like the Vaishyas because they are the ones who generate resources, utilize the resources. And the legs are like Shudras because they can only do work with their body. So first category works with their intelligence. The second category works with their arms, the strength. The third category works because of the resources that they can have. And fourth category simply gives physical labor efforts to run the society. All were doing, like all limbs of the bodies are required, everybody had their place and all were respected for whatever they were doing. Nobody was seen as lower or higher because everybody knew that they need each other to survive in the society. But unfortunately, the interpretation of all these things and the misuse of this by selfish people, by many political class people, many invaders and no, foreign forces, they actually use this to destroy and divide the societies. Because the only way they could control the country is by dividing people and ruling. So they used all these tools and now it has become a habit. Because it stayed with our psyche for so long that this whole thing became a habit. So this is the reason why the societies have become very confusing now. However, as he was mentioning, if every one of us minds according to our aptitude does our work, I'm sure all the society can work very efficiently. And today, success is equal to how much money you make. That was not the equation in the older times. Success was equal to your level of happiness, satisfaction, and positivity in life. That's all it was. So an intellectual class person who has taught hundreds and thousands of students but has no big fat bank balance was also successful. And people respected that. And somebody who was a Kshatriya who ruled the kingdom and things like that but kept all the treasury with the temple because thinking God is the real owner was also successful. So also a businessman who did good business ethically, morally and contributed to the taxes and the welfare charity for the society, they were also successful. So also Shudras who are not capable intellectually to learn too many things or not capable of fighting a war and winning a war or abilities to administer or do business, but willing to offer their services through their skills, hand craftsmen and their hard work, they were also respected. Karmane namaha, the work was respected. And that is how the Indian societies were long, long time ago. But with the passage of time, all this has become confusing. Now what happens, these business people, just because they have money, they think now they are eligible to do charity. See, this is what I was telling in one more meeting in Kerala we had near Kochi. What was the meeting about? Like this, the business class people got together, they were talking about charity. And this is what we said, that yes, you can do charity if you have something extra or surplus. But just because you have extra or surplus does not make you eligible to do charity. There is an eligibility criteria to do charity. Shraddhaya deyam, ashraddhaya deyam, shriya deyam, biya deyam, kriya deyam, savvida deyam. Give with sincerity, don't give it in insincere feelings. Give in plenty, give with humility, give with the knowledge of why you are giving, give in abundance. All these are qualifications to give. Just because you have more doesn't give you the authority to give away or call yourselves charitable. So this is what I was telling business class people. Even in charity, they will calculate. I've seen that, no? I'll give this much. Where will my name be put? And how many malas you will put on me? And how many times you will announce my name in the mic? They all calculate and come. Such charity is of no use. That is not even considered charity because they're also doing a transaction over there. What is the transaction? If I give this money, my name will be seen. People will think of me as a good man. And then using that, I can develop some better connections and network. And using that, I can grow my business and my fame and popularity. This is how they think. So is this real charity? No, it is not charity. It is business only in another form. So that is what I was telling these people. You please mind your business. Don't interfere in charity because you are not capable of doing charity. Your nature does not permit you. Guna guneshu vartanta, it is said. Gunas work for themselves. They don't work for me, work for you. They work for themselves. It means if I am by nature intellectual, my gunas will push me to study, push me to learn new things. My joy and satisfaction will come only from that. If my nature is commercial or business minded, my joy will come only by doing business and earning profits. If I don't earn profit, I cannot be at peace. Similarly, if my nature is to control and protect, I will do that. That only will give me joy. Everybody I told, whatever makes you happy, whatever you do which doesn't make you feel bored, doesn't make you feel burdened, doesn't make you feel frustrated, you are happy to do it every day, that is what your nature is. Other than khana, pina, sona, marna. See, that is animal nature. Don't tell I love food and I keep eating and sleeping. Nothing gives me greater joy than that. No, that is then you that is not allowed. That is animals. Beyond that, tell me what knowledge is appeals to you, what subject appeals to you, what activities appeal to you. Tell me that. Then you decide accordingly. You have an opportunity to do whatever you need to do in life, because in our institution, success is not equal to money. Success is equal to perfection in action. Success is equal to satisfaction in doing what you're doing. Success is equal to happiness in your life. Success is equal to good that is done to others. Our definition is different of success. So, if you want to be a successful student in our institution, do what your heart feels like doing. Any activity, any knowledge, any skill, any capabilities that you want to develop, which you feel happy about, that is success in our institutions. So think like that, and accordingly you do your thing. Then societies will become very high class societies, not class from the point of view of wealth, very high in terms of the outcome of all the activities. Perfection will be there everywhere. Yoga, karmasu, kaushalam, we say. That perfection will come because you are exactly doing what you are born to do. Otherwise, societies become very mediocre. Somebody who is not capable wants to become a doctor, he'll be a bad doctor. Then there are people who don't like engineering but push to become engineers. God forbid, you have to pass through the bridges that they build. You never know you'll reach the other side. This every day we are losing good teachers, getting bad doctors, losing good musicians, getting bad engineers, we're losing good farmers, getting bad sports people, whatever. Because we are not really allowing children to do exactly what they are born to do as per their nature. You allow them to do, see how they blossom. They are happy, people around them are also happy, societies are happier societies, may not be wealthier societies, but definitely happier societies. And that is what we are trying to build. This is what I explain to the people who come from outside, that please understand our philosophy, how we as Indians must be, what is our way of life. It's not the same as the Western way or the modern way. We have tried and tested this for centuries because we are a very old civilization. I'm sure we also would have made mistakes in the beginning. But we have learnt over millennia of evolution and civilization. Whereas most of the other civilizations have happened in the last one millennia or two maximum. But we've been there for maybe 8, 10 millennia, maybe 10,000 years. Therefore, we know better. We have tried, tested, and made mistakes and learned from that, and finally came to conclusion society should run like this. This is the best way. So believe in Indian idea and philosophy, but understand the essence of it. Don't say quote left, right, center. This is caste system. This is difference. There are discriminations and people. This is all being misused for the personal gains of those who are selfish. But the original idea was this: that based on your aptitudes and gunas, you should take up your profession, take up what you need to do in life, and that is what will make you a successful person, a happy person. You will bring perfection in the society, and you will make societies better. This is what is going to happen. Look at all those beautiful temples. Oh, look at the carving on the stones in those days. They were showing me each of the pillars in Kashi Vishwanath temple, how these are the, whatever images of the Pandavas. Madurai temple, each pillar is a picture of perfection. So I imagine the artist who has done that, he was born to do that. If he was doing anything else, he wouldn't have been successful at that. This is what they have achieved. That is why Indian civilization was so very advanced. Because everybody was exactly doing what they were doing, because their eye was not on profiting at the end. They were not worried whether I will make enough money or less money at the end. They were happy to express their gunas given by divine in their action. And that's why there was so much of perfection in Indian civilization. That's why we were somewhere else. And this is what I am trying to recreate through our institutions, by giving everybody their opportunity to do what they are born to do, they love to do, so that they will attain perfection in all these actions. And that is how you create better civilization, better world, and better societies. More importantly, happier societies. That is what you can do. Ask yourself within, what makes you really happy? At this point in time, whatever that answer comes to you, you are born to do that. Do that, you will be happy. And when you are happy, you will make everybody happy around you. And that is how you can be successful in life. So keep this in mind and help each other understand this philosophy better. These blessings, I will conclude.